Hey everyone, welcome back to Magically Unstable. I'm Kurt.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are here to talk about Disney.
And our anxiety.
And that's why we're magically unstable.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's do that one more time.
Or we can just keep that whole thing.
Oh my God, that made me lightheaded. Oh my God.
I'm Kurt.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are here to talk about Disney.
And our anxiety.
And that's why we're
magically unstable.
All right, guys, welcome back to episode 6 of Magically Unstable. Super, super excited. We made it to episode 6, everybody.
Woohoo.
I mean, is that really like a milestone already? Like 6 episodes? Are we just excited we're still alive for episode 6? Okay,
yes.
Yeah. Then great. We deserve a round of applause.
Let's start off
Nicole's
this episode by seeing if Nicole had a better week this week. I'm going to say no.
No, it was actually the worst week of all the 6 weeks combined.
Nicole, you are literally sadness from inside out. That is, you are literally sadness.
Just touches everything and turns into sadness.
Yep.
See, I don't think it's sad. I think I'm just in hell.
I think you're just sad.
I think this is my purgatory. No, this week, I don't even want to go into it. It's going to be longer than any podcast we've ever had, so I'm just gonna say it sucked. It started, my cats peed in my suitcase, and that's all I had to throw away my suitcase in a dumpster.
Yeah, if you guys don't have cats, like cat pee is not something you can really recover from. Actually, even dog pee. If it's a male animal, like either, it literally doesn't matter.
Any kind is probably something you can't recover from.
People pee isn't so bad, but like animal pee is pretty rough.
Speaking from experience?
Maybe.
Nick, how was your week?
My week is fucking great. 2 weeks off of work, and the world could end tomorrow, and I'd still be in a great mood because, well, I'm obviously not off of work for Foreverland, but clearly we're recording this podcast. But like my other shitty ass job, I'm off of for actually it's like 3 weeks. So
nice. That's
nothing
exciting.
Can touch me now. How was your week?
My week is pretty good. Can't complain. It's been pretty great. I'm really excited to in some future episodes announce some really cool stuff that we've been planning and working on this week. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
Those things that are happening is that we're all quitting our jobs and turning into fairies and living in the forest.
Yes.
So get excited.
All right, let's head into housekeeping. Nick.
Housekeeping. It's time for housekeeping. All right. So if you're new, hi, welcome. Welcome to Magically Unstable. Housekeeping is where we talk about all things new that are Disney. And let's go ahead and start with Disneyland, because I feel like Disneyland is really like the bee's knees right now. So Kurt, give us some, what's going on? What's going on in Disneyland?
There's a lot going on. Nothing that I haven't talked about too much that's happening. But the biggest thing that just happened as of this recording yesterday, Disneyland hopefully can open as of April 1st.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that's so exciting. I've seen so many like clickbait articles right now that are like, Disneyland's opening April 1st.
Yeah, no, that's not the case, everybody.
Can you
That's
explain
not
that
the case.
just like a little bit?
Yeah, so, I mean, it is confusing, but it also isn't. It's definitely being used as clickbait. So Disneyland is not opening April 1st at all.
Thank you.
It is just... Governor Newsom has revamped the California theme park requirements for reopening. So he's saying, as of right now, April 1st, if your county or whatever county that the theme park is open, so for Disneyland, if Orange County is in the red tier, which is in like the second tier right now, because California is always a wildfire in every scenario that could possibly be a wildfire, we are in like the worst possible tier of the reopening plan. So once Orange County itself gets into the next tier from where it is right now, Disneyland can reopen. So I did see an article through the Orange County Register that Disneyland president and officials have been really working with health professionals and scientists to determine a possible reopening date as to when, with vaccines and the use of masks and social distancing, when at the current rate, when they think Orange County will be able to be in the red tier. So yeah, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, maybe by the time you're all listening to this, there is already a date that's been released. But as of right now, there is no opening date for Disneyland. It is just finally a possibility, which is huge because where it was as Gavin Newsom had it before, Disneyland wasn't going to be open until basically herd immunity happened. Mm-hmm. Like he had it in the last tier of the reopening plan, where it was like the communal infection rate had to be less than 1% of the population.
Which is impossible.
Which
like
is
right
absolutely
now, it's
impossible.
absolutely not reachable.
So it was just like it wasn't going to happen probably until 2022 or end of 2021. So yeah, I mean it's huge news that he came out and was like, April 1st. If you can hit this, then you can reopen. It will reopen when it does. It will reopen at a 15% capacity and only to California residents. So that is the stipulation for them to reopen.
That's great. As a Florida resident, I literally wish that we would have had the same stipulations and that there would have been like some incentive to being a Florida resident.
Mm-hmm. I think it's fair, and I think it's a good way to reopen. You know, because Disneyland is a huge destination spot for like the left half of the United States. You know, a lot of people had annual passes from Utah, from Arizona, from Nevada, and they would come in for 3, 4, 5 days. And I don't think, for the safety of Californians and for the safety of people who don't live in California, like it's not safe to come here to specifically go to a theme park.
Totally fair. Yeah, the big thing for me was I was getting so frustrated. Like our Instagram feeds yesterday was just constantly like Disneyland opening April 1st, Disneyland opening April 1st. And if you actually look on like Disney's official website, it was like, no, we're coming with an official opening date. So like, I'm not going to call out certain mediums. If you're a Disney person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just like, it's misleading. And then you're going to have people who aren't big Disney like aficionados thinking that they can go to Disneyland on April 1st and being really confused. So
yeah, so that's my bit of Disneyland
that's
news.
So exciting. Like we're coming up on the 1 year, I think, in a week and a half, I think.
Yeah.
And just to like hear news that it's finally going to be almost time to open Disneyland again, it's just really exciting. That's great news. That's awesome news. Okay, well, I feel like our housekeeping this week, at least for you two, is so fucking exciting. And why I'm really excited for Nicole's news. Nicole, what is your housekeeping for the company?
Okay, so for Disney Company's housekeeping, Raya and the Last Dragon came out on March 5th. We're recording this the day after, and I know that we all watched it. So what are your thoughts on it?
We did. We had a viewing party.
Oh my gosh. We have to. Kurt, I don't know if you took a picture or Nicole, if you took a picture of your face, like at the end. I was crying so fucking hard. Like my mascara was all over my face. I took a picture. We may have to post it.
I took a picture. I took a picture to send it to Kelly, and I was like, look at what you made me do.
Literally. Yeah. It was, I really liked it. I think the biggest thing is with the pandemic, there's so much uncertainty of like what the company was going to do with the movie that there was really no expectations. And watching it, it kind of like anything that I even fathomed to expect for it, it's just like, it's such a different Disney movie. But yeah, all of the like anything that I could have expected, it's such a different Disney film that everyone, you need to buy the premiere access for it and watch it because you're going to be really pleasantly surprised.
I think the pandemic enhanced as well as hindered this movie.
Yes, which I don't know if we want to talk about it because it is just like housekeeping, but maybe we should do like a full in-depth like talk about Raya, and maybe once more people have seen it in a couple podcasts.
I don't want to have any spoilers come out.
Yeah, that's fair. Just know that it was a really beautifully created movie.
Yes.
Like scenically beautiful.
Kelly Marie Tran was amazing as female lead. Awkwafina, I have never heard of like any of Awkwafina, anything. This is the first time I've seen her in anything. I loved her as the dragon, as Sisu. Like I thought the whole cast was just dynamite. Like everyone was great.
Yeah, I feel like Raya is such a unique character to bring into the Disney universe. And I really love that they're really pushing to not call her a Disney princess, even though she technically is, that they want to really focus on calling her like the first Disney warrior.
Or hero. Because she's literally, no spoilers. No spoilers. She, in the end, Raya is absolutely a hero.
Yeah. She's a great heroine.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I completely agree. Awkwafina as Sisu was just dynamite casting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, because I have seen Awkwafina's work and she's very talented, but she does have a very specific style of acting and style of comedy, which I feel I think everybody does, that,
Mm-hmm.
they have their niche.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sure how it would work with an animated film, and it absolutely works and blew my mind how well it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that like as the character, and I mean, it's called Raya and the Last Dragon, so in my mind I think I went into the pre-notion that the dragon was going to be this like majestic, beautiful, eloquent creature, and I feel like Awkwafina's comedy is very opposite that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, I don't know if that's really going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I love what they did with that character. Easily, I would say probably my second favorite character in that entire film is Sisu.
I loved her. Yeah, I loved Sisu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really good.
You know what I want to leave on a parting note about Raya is fuck that baby.
Nicole hated, there's a baby in the movie, and Nicole just like, the baby did like absolutely nothing, and Nicole just hates this fucking
Immediately
baby.
saw the baby, and I was like,
She's like,
verbally
hate
said
it.
I want to kick it.
Like,
Yeah.
I hate
Like,
that baby.
the first scene that you see the baby it's in a trailer. The baby's sitting on the ground and distracts Raya. And Nicole's legitimate first words were, I want to drop kick that baby.
You're like, God damn. Like, what do you got against like fucking toddlers?
A lot.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Clearly.
That's totally valid.
Yeah.
I'm just like thinking in my head, like, just as like my final thought is, I feel like I bring up Rick and Morty on this podcast like all the time, and these two have no idea what I'm talking about. So if you guys watch Rick and Morty and you know anything about the dragon episode, you know the whole time what I was thinking of don't worry, the dragons are saved a little bit, and Sisu definitely, like, I just thought of like Awkwafina's humor, and if you guys would have seen this Rick and Morty episode, her humor fits in perfectly with the dragons and how they literally portray these dragons as like sex addicts and like drug addicts, and I was like,
Not in Raya.
no, I was like afraid that with Awkwafina they were gonna make the dragon like not like a sex addict, but like Kurt said, like, I thought that they were going to make the dragon like a little bit more rough. And while she's not super majestic, like, it's very tasteful humor. And I really enjoyed it as someone who like loves dark humor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Awkwafina really took this role and just like smashed it out of the park.
I think that's something that I really, really enjoyed, was that it does not in any way fit a typical Disney animated film, especially with a leading female heroine.
Yes.
And I mean, even in the sense of, you made me just think of it as like, I feel like Sisu plays a really good, like, typical sidekick character, even though she's not the sidekick. So I feel like Disney brought what we all love about like that animal sidekick and brought it into a full character, but still gave us a sidekick animal
Right.
with Tuk Tuk.
Yes.
I feel like it just has really changed the mindset of what Disney animation is and where it's going. And I really recommend everybody to get Premiere Access and watch it.
So great. It seems like from the three of us, like it's an absolute 10 out of 10 recommend. Go support our performing artists in this film. Go get Premiere Access and watch Raya if you haven't yet. And we're so excited to finally welcome Raya into the Disney universe.
Yes.
Hey.
So let's move on to Walt Disney World.
All right. Walt Disney World. There's really nothing exciting like happening, at least in my mind, because the same shit's happening in Walt Disney World. Like Flower and Garden started. We already talked about that. We already talked about most of the shit. So I'm just going to talk about something that's really interesting to me is the Disney came out and did the like kind of a sneak preview for the Polynesian Resort and what the makeover and refurbishments kind of look like in the rooms. We can post some of these to our Foreverland Fairy Tales Instagram. If you don't follow us, go ahead and find us on Instagram because we can post some of these updates we're talking about. But I personally really like this revamp. I feel, this is my personal opinion, that these deluxe resorts really kind of fall short as to what you pay for and what you have to stay in. And I feel like the old Polynesian rooms were like kind of like, I don't know. I'm not impressed. It's just like they
weren't worth your money kind of thing.
Yeah. And like I can see the Polynesian like theming, like I get it, but it's not anything special. And I feel like that for all of the deluxe resorts. So before it was all very like one-toned, not very themed. And it's interesting to me, and the reason that I chose this for my Walt Disney World update is there are a lot of people who are having clapback and actually hate the retheming. So I'll just describe the theming. The theming is kind of based around the Pacific Ocean. So that's like their color scheme that they went for. There's like a whole wall of, Maui's tattoos. And we were literally just talking about this today because there's an element of this in Raya. If you've seen the You're Welcome song in Moana that Maui sings, they do this like paper animation almost. And there's a whole wall that has that animation style with like some themes from Moana. The beds have these like beautiful aqua blue accents. There's aqua blue curtain accents. And then the wall is like a really pretty orangey brown color. And then there's also some Moana artwork. There's like some Hey artwork hiding. There's some Moana artwork. And I just think it looks like really refreshed and really just like it really encompasses like being on the beach, like at the Pacific Ocean. Like, I don't know. I personally really like it. So
see, I've been a little bit of a Facebook troll, not a troll. I guess I've been like reading all of the troll comments and people are really pressed about it because they're comparing it to like the art of animation. And they're like, this is a deluxe resort. Why are we getting like value quality?
Right.
I'm like, you haven't even seen it yet. How are you already judging? But like,
how is it value resort quality?
Because it's being themed after a movie character. Like at Art of Animation, you get like the Lion King or you get the Little Mermaid or like just shit like that. And they haven't seen it yet. So I think that they're just making assumptions based off of their own stupid thoughts.
I think those people are just being fucking ridiculous because if you've looked at photos, like if you're listening and you're curious, Google Art of Animation Little Mermaid room or Lion King room. It is very childlike themed, like big murals of the characters on the wall, the beds, everything is very animated and almost like kiddish, where this is like sleek. You can barely even tell. You can see the little details if you're like a Moana person and you love the movie. You can see these details, but it is not over the top at all.
It reminds me of the high-end, I don't know like the specific term that they use, signature restaurant maybe, I don't know, the like very, very, very fancy adult-only restaurant, Remy on the Disney cruise. Like it's still, the entire restaurant is based off of the movie Ratatouille, but the way that they incorporate the character of Remy is so elegant, and like they have like a mouse like designed in woodwork for the back of the chairs, and like there's like a glass chandelier with Remy on the end of it. Like, it's, unless you are really looking for it, you're not going to be able to see it. And that's kind of what it reminds me of.
And you're at goddamn Disney World, like,
right.
Right.
That's the part that also bothers me with this like pushback is like, okay, so you were okay with the Polynesian Resort like borderline being racist? Like, if you think about it, in a lot of the Polynesian Resort, like, I love the Polynesian Resort. I think it's beautiful, but it's like, did you have Polynesian people help you theme it? Like, was this actually like from a group of like culture, community, Polynesian representatives that helped you theme this resort when it first came out? Or did you just
take stereotypes?
Exactly. So like the rooms before, like, they're not like over the top or anything. It's actually really bland and boring, but there's like a braided, it looks like almost rattan like headboard. And then some posts that almost look like tiki posts.
So like typical like Hawaiian, Polynesian, like
but
stereotypical.
You see, here's my thing about, and this can be a therapy session of mine or any of ours eventually. But my thing about Disney Resort hotels is I don't think they're worth it at all. Even the value resorts, they're so expensive and overcharged for what they are. But at least Pop Century has been recently renovated, and I think Art of Animation is also getting renovated. But like the Contemporary or the Grand Floridian, those are the most outdated resorts that I have ever even thought about possibly going to. And like, I could stay at like a Hilton or a Holiday Inn that's newer and way nicer for a fraction of the price, closer to Disneyland closer to Disney World, and just taking an Uber or something. Like, it is the most ridiculous thing. And then on top of it, I'm researching, Disney tickets just in general, like around at other Disney parks. They are not nearly as expensive, or the hotels on property, as they are in America. And it is disgusting how much it is for what you're actually paying for and what you're actually getting.
Literally.
Well, yeah, they nickel and dime you here.
Yeah. So like, I don't even care if you're going to slap Moana's face on the blankets. At least it's new.
Exactly.
At least it's renovated and it's up to date.
Yep. I know. I'm like looking at the photos of the old Polynesian, and it literally looks like a Hilton. Like, it looks like they use the same Hilton green on the wall, and it just doesn't scream anything special. And if you think of Polynesian prices, you're not spending a night in the Polynesian for less than $600 a night, even in the villas. Like, that's ridiculous. That's what they're renovating right now. Because even as a regular guest, you can't stay. You have to be a DVC member right now to stay in the villas or the bungalows. And the prices, like, you guys, you don't even want to know how bad it gets. Like, peak times, some of these rooms were going for over like $1,000. Like the Contemporary, I looked the other day, it was like $1,300 for one of these days coming up this week. And the Contemporary is in the same boat as all of these. The Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, and the Contemporary all have these like shitty ass rooms that you're paying like $600 at least a night to stay in. So
I was looking up, so a Hong Kong Disneyland hotel is basically a replica of the Grand Floridian. And it's not like a board by board replica, but it is very heavily inspired by the Grand Floridian. And it's still like the Victorian theme. It's all like the outside is basically the same. And I was looking on average per night in USD at the Hong Kong Disneyland hotel, it's like $120.
Which is like nothing.
Yeah, which is less than Pop Century.
God, that nickel and dime.
Literally. That just unlocked a memory that I had. We made Kurt made a TikTok. So also, if you don't follow us on TikTok, we're hilarious. Go follow us on TikTok, Foreverland Foreverland Fairy Tales. Kurt made a TikTok about like riding the monorail, and on the monorail, like it was me that filmed it, and I went past the Grand Floridian, and Kurt like just made a joke about like, I'll never be able to afford to stay here. And some girl was so fucking pressed on it, and she commented, and she was like, LOL, when you stay at the Grand Floridian every single time you go to Disney, but you're definitely not rich. And I can tell you, even in non-peak times, like back when the parks first reopened and the Grand Floridian was just rolling out, it was literally at least $500 a night to stay there. And if you're telling me you can afford $500 a night and you're telling me you're not rich, maybe you should like check yourself and not try and play like a card that you're not super like lucky to stay in that kind of resort, because I don't want to hear you tell me. I just get really upset about that, because like before we lived in Florida, like we really struggled if we wanted to go to Disney, because the hotel was always the most expensive part. And like, fuck
we
you.
didn't struggle like with the decision of going to Disney. It was like, are we staying on property?
Right. Good.
Because we were
clarity.
like, we're going regardless. But like at the time too, they had all of the benefits too. Like even staying at the value resorts, I know they're getting rid of like magic bands when you stay at the resorts.
Magical Express.
The Magical Express is leaving. Like that was like the convenience that we utilized, and that's gone now because nickel and dimes.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you are not rich and you're staying at the Grand Floridian, every single time that you go, maybe you should learn to like handle your finances a little bit better.
Right. If you're poor and you're like, I'm going to stay at the Grand Floridian, like, no, what is wrong with you?
That's the definition of living above your means.
Right. Wow. Great. Yeah, that's funny. Like, I thought this was going to be super boring housekeeping, and it actually sparked like a nice conversation of just like resorts in general at Disney. And I don't know, man. Like, everyone's so fucking pressed about something all the time. And I just I don't understand living my life like that. So, you know what? If you're pressed, sorry. Like, I don't really care. I don't care. I walked down really quick, and then we'll end this, I was filming at the Polynesian the other day, and I just walked into one of the villas that are supposed to be locked to DVC members. And I was walking down the hallway, and it literally looked like a 1960s horrible, like the carpet was disgusting and dingy, like the walls, the lighting, it was all terrible.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, do you remember when we went, sorry, I'm going to butt in now too. Do you remember when we went to the Animal Kingdom Lodge and like,
yeah, we
were walking down the hallway trying to find the restaurant that we were going to, and it was still, I felt like for an expensive resort, like it was
ratty.
outdated.
Yeah, it's a little ratty.
Yeah.
They could have done something with the fucking manila yellow carpeting with the brown designs on it.
Yep.
Whatever.
So, yeah. Anyway, sorry if
I'm
like,
pretty sure
you're
we said
pressed.
when we were looking for the restaurant and we were like commenting on the hallways and the carpet, I'm pretty sure we said that if we took a shit on the rug, nobody would know.
No one would know.
It was that color.
Nobody will know.
The sliding scale of shit. You could have just wherever.
Just taken a dump right in the middle, man.
Man.
Anyway, yay! All right, you know what? I'm excited for the Moana retheme. I think it's great. I think it's representation for another culture that's not represented nearly enough. Fuck all you haters. So let's move on to our next section.
Yeah. Before we head into the video, how about we take a break, grab some water, and we will be back.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Break me off a piece of that
fancy feast.
Woo!
All right. We'll talk to you after the break, guys.
Bah.
All right, everyone. Now that we're stopped, let's take a minute to shout out to our socials.
Since you've made it this far, maybe subscribe to our podcast. You can subscribe wherever you're listening, like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you're listening on right now.
You can also follow us over on Instagram and TikTok at Foreverland Fairy Tales.
And most importantly, if you want more Disney content, or if you want to listen to our podcast on YouTube, make sure you find us there. We're at Foreverland Fairy Tales, and just remember to subscribe.
All right, let's get back to the episode.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
Ding.
Breaks the microphone.
More Fortnite. You weren't even recording that.
I am.
Oh,
It's
you
recording.
were?
Yep.
Bitch,
It's
that's why
recording.
we've been staring at you.
Amazing.
All right, welcome back. Let's head into this week's video, which was a very informational video on DCA's new ticketed event, A Touch of Disney.
A. I was like, this is mostly going to be Kurt led.
Yeah. All right, so I guess if you've seen the video, hopefully you have. If not, check us out on YouTube, Foreverland Fairy Tales. But yeah, I basically just talked about all the ins and outs of what's going to be happening at A Touch of Disney. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure tickets are already sold out. So if you didn't get tickets already, hopefully they'll roll them out more. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't continue to roll out tickets and expand the capacity. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, it's Disney. They're always looking to make a little bit more money. But yeah, so...
Nickel and diamond.
Nickel and dime.
Is that going to be the name of this episode? The nickel and dime.
So I talked about that it's happening starting March 18th, and they actually, as the tickets were on sale, they extended the date by 2 weeks, so it's going to go all the way until April 19th now. So that's exciting that people were able to get a little bit more experience in buying the tickets.
Y'all went hard with that ticket buying, man.
Yeah, wow, we literally broke the internet, people.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that
because
was fun.
I had nothing on the line, so I could just watch it. Kurt's like, fuck you.
Yeah, nice. I, on the other hand, was in line once the ticket queue started. I guess I'll start there. I was in line for about 3 hours waiting. Not physically in line like the virtual queue. But yeah, it was a kind of a shit show because there were so many people waiting. And it definitely was not a first come, first serve basis. I don't know how they led into the actual, like, once you got a countdown for how long your wait would be. Peter and I had 4 devices going, both of our phones, a laptop, and the desktop. And I think the order was Peter went in first on his phone, then his laptop, then I did my phone, and then the desktop. But I think it was the laptop and my phone were the first 2 to go in to the actual like countdown queue. By some stroke of luck, I got in, was able to make tickets, was able to purchase tickets for the opening day. So that will be super exciting. So like I said, just right now, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. We're definitely going to be putting out live streams on the day. And the next day we'll put out an overall review up on our YouTube channel. So if you want the latest and greatest information on A Touch of Disney, make sure you follow us on all social media. But yeah, so a little bit more into the video is what I'm super excited about is the food.
Yeah.
And I know that we've been able to eat in Disney California Adventure already, but they are like really, really pulling out all the stops with all like the classic Disney food. So I would like to talk about a little bit about the food and what we're all most excited about at A Touch of Disney.
Yeah, that made me like a little, even though I've only been to Disneyland one time, like being a part of the Disney community, like that actually made me a little emotional. Going on Disneyland's website, because I did not realize that A Touch of Disney literally meant A Touch of Disney, and all of the food booths that they're going to have are literally going to be like cherry picking items throughout Disneyland, like iconic dishes, and there's some new dishes too.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so cool. Like, that's really nostalgic and emotional and like, way to go, Disneyland.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this event. You know, and I have seen a lot of people like, oh, is it worth spending $75 to get food and just to walk around? Like none of the rides are even open. And I would say, like, if you're thinking about it in the sense of like going to Disneyland, no. It wouldn't be worth it to spend $75 every couple weeks to go as like an experience to go to Disneyland like you would for like a ticket or if you had an annual pass. But it's like, I view it as like, this is a once in a lifetime event. Like, when are we going to close down for a pandemic for a year and then have something like this ever again?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like, where the fuck do you think that money's going? It's going into cast members' pockets that got called back.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth it to boost Disneyland's economic wealth right now to get more cast members back, to
Right.
get the park open. So, like, I think I would, if I lived in California, I would have spent the $75 as well. So,
Yeah. Super excited. So let's talk about some food. I would like to talk about something super basic. Both of mine are really, really basic because apparently I'm really basic. But no, I'm really excited about, I have two of them that I want to talk about. One of them is the Mickey waffle. Because you know what?
Oh, boy.
That's like one.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
That's like one of my must-haves whenever I go to a Disney park is a Disney waffle.
Agreed.
Waffle? A Mickey waffle.
Oh, no.
I know that this is one of like the small ones that come in like the little like press machine. It's not like a big one like I normally would get from like Carnation Cafe or something. But it's still, it's like a buffet waffle, you know what I mean? Like the small ones.
Still, if they're crispy, like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
they're
still a Mickey waffle.
So good.
They're going to serve it with some berries. It's probably going to be $11, but you know what? That's fine. It's fine because I haven't had a Mickey waffle in forever.
You know what you forgot to mention? That with your ticket purchase, you get a $25 gift card.
Yes, that is super exciting. So included in the $75, not only you get to park in the Mickey and Friends, which also the tram is not going to be available. You're going to have to walk to Disneyland. But parking is included, and you do get a $25 gift card from Disney. It's not a Disney gift card. It's like a redeemable at A Touch of Disney dining card of $25 each ticket. So Peter and I each got a ticket, so we get $50 that we get to spend on food that Disney just gives to us. So that's nice. So technically it was only $50.
Right. And if your Mickey waffle's $11, you're not even spending half of what your gift card is worth. So fucking get your Mickey waffle and rub it on. Never mind. I was going to say rub it on your balls and get another one and eat that.
I'm not going to do that. I might rub it on my nipples, but
there you go.
Not my balls.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want sugar balls.
Yeah, that would be very uncomfortable.
Sticky, syrupy.
Oh, man. So that's my first one. My second one is that they're going to have Dole Whip.
Dole Whip.
They're going to have Dole Whip.
You know what? For me, you and Peter have probably already had the lemon Dole Whip. Have you had it?
I was going to say that's the one that I'm more excited for.
Fucking talk about it, because I'll never be able to eat that.
The lemon Dole Whip is, it's not as like, when I think lemon, I think like puckery, sweet, sour, like lemon, which is what I hate about key lime pie. So I'm really, really glad that this lemon Dole Whip is more of like a refreshing lemonade Dole Whip. It's not sorbet. It's definitely like soft serve lemon ice cream. It's just like neon yellow, but it has like the most refreshing lemon taste. Yeah, I really, really like it. I don't know if they're going to do it for this event, but I know that when they usually sell it on Pixar Pier, they'll dip it in like white chocolate a little bit on the top.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, it's really good.
Stop.
It's really good. It looks a little bit like jizz, but other than that, it's really good.
Apparently all things dessert with white chocolate or sweetened condensed milk look like straight up salmon.
Yeah. But those are my two food items that I'm super excited about. I'm excited about a lot of other food items. I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to limit myself to those two.
Bitch. Fuck, that sounds so. Both of those, like, just the simplicity of like Disney and what it encompasses. Like a Mickey waffle hits no matter who you are.
Yeah.
You can get them vegan, right? No, gluten-free maybe?
Gluten-free.
I feel
I
like
don't know if you can at the festival.
That's fair. But I feel like any Disney lover, like, will all agree, like, a Mickey waffle just hits, like, on all levels. So,
Nicole, what did you pick for your food item?
The first thing I saw on the list, I read through everything, don't worry, but the Impossible meat or the cheeseburger Impossible mac and cheese. I saw that and that made my mouth water like nobody's business.
So I'm actually going to bring it up. That's another really cool thing about this festival this event is that they're bringing California Adventures food and wine festival items into this. Because normally right now, Food and Wine Festival would be happening.
Right.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah. And then I've never had a Disneyland churro. So any one of the churros I would try.
Horchata churro. Sounds great.
See,
Fluffernutter.
they had the Oreo one, and I think those are the three that are like on display. So
I think it's like the WandaVision one though. It's like a pineapple churro with, I think it's covered in like a white chocolate and then Oreos on top. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. I just thought it was a cookies and cream.
Maybe. I could be wrong.
I hope you're wrong. Nick, what about you?
Oh my God. This item, it sounds so fucking good, you guys. So it is going to be the Smoke Jumpers Grill mobile order at in Grizzly Peak, which are they doing? They're doing like smaller booths, right? Like you don't actually order at Smoke Jumpers. It's the Smoke Jumpers booth. Is that
Nope.
right?
Mm-mm. So Smoke Jumpers is like is one of the restaurants that will be open.
Right. But are they pulling like a Smoke Jumpers booth so they're just opening the restaurant and just like being like, this is part of the festival?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
I think that they're expanding the food menu for the places that are currently open as part of Downtown Disney. So Smoke Jumpers is currently open as part of Downtown Disney, but they have just like chicken fingers and the disgusting Impossible Burger that I talked about last week.
Great. I did not pick the Impossible Burger.
Good, because it's gross.
But this is this is at Smoke Jumpers. So this sounds so fucking good. It's the Impossible Chili Waffle Fries.
Fuck.
So let me get into this.
Yeah. Yes, I think that they're expanding the menus for the event.
Yeah, and in parentheses, it says that this is new and plant-based. So vegan peeps out there, hell yeah. Kurt, you're probably not going to like it unless you can get it without beans. But it is, I know. It's chili with beans, tomato, and corn. So that's the chili on top. So get it without the chili. Then spicy mayo, cheddar cheese, and pico de gallo.
Yum.
Like, fuck. On a waffle
My
fry
mouth is
too.
watering.
I know. I want it right now.
I would just eat the chili.
Fuck, no.
Big bowl of that chili.
Like, you can pretty much get me to do anything if you offer me a waffle fry. Like, it's the superior potato. Oh, it's
one
so fucking
waffle
good.
fry.
So yeah, I'm very saddened that I feel like Disney World's like vegetarian options just sometimes blow. And when I see something that just Impossible Chili Waffle Fries, like, come the fuck on. So I didn't look at a second option just because I think I've mentioned on like 3 podcasts that I want the Fluffernutter churro so fucking bad, and I'm gonna fucking get it one of these days. I don't know how, but I'm gonna fucking get it.
I don't want to be like, I don't know. I know you always call me out for being a Disneyland elitist, but like,
you fucking are.
I mean, but like, is that wrong?
No.
I feel like one of the main things I'll say that Disneyland has over Disney World is the quality and type of food and variety of food that we offer here in Disneyland Resort than Walt Disney World. And I think it's honestly because of sheer capacity. I think that, you know, Disney World has so many people and so many people from different backgrounds coming through their doors that they have to kind of have a more bland menu to appease the masses rather than have like more specific types of restaurants, which Disney World has. They just don't have as many as Disneyland does.
Sure. No, I totally agree. Disney World is like the fucking white trash inbred step cousin of Disneyland, and it's like you can see some of the, not even step, no, it's got to be the real cousin, because you can see like the traits of Disney in there, like Disneyland in there, but they're just like a little bit white trash,
a little mutated.
Yeah. That's all I've got. I'm so fucking stoked for you to go to this. Like, I know it's gonna be just like a really magical time for you guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So yeah, that's about it. You can watch the video for more details, but like I said, we are going to do a bunch of TikTok lives that day. So we're going to come up with a schedule. We'll post it up on our Instagram. Rather than doing one long TikTok live, I'll probably be going live on TikTok in the different areas of California Adventure for everybody to see. So if there's anything specific that you guys want to watch, make sure you head over to our Instagram and check out the schedule. Make sure to tune in. And then the following day, I'll post up a review on YouTube.
Cool. All right.
All right. So before we head into our therapy and coping session, forgot what that was called for a second, let's take another little break and we will be back. Hey, Nick and Nicole, I want to talk to our listeners about Anchor and how great it is if you want to start your own podcast.
Yes, let's talk about it.
I'm ready.
So I wish I would have known about Anchor a year ago when I was trying to make podcasts and struggling. It was so hard to get my podcast distributed out. But here on Anchor, they do it all for you. Spotify, Apple Podcast, and so many more. It's so easy.
Did y'all know you can make money with no minimum listenership?
Yeah, and it's free.
No way.
Yeah. Another really cool thing is that there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
It's just like it's every single thing you would ever need to make a podcast all in one place. That's so great. So if you want to be cool like us and start a podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
All right, and we are back, and I am so excited to dive into this therapy session.
It's your therapy session, isn't it, Kurt?
It is.
Oh, God, I love these so much.
It is.
Let's just no breaks. Just fucking go for it.
All gas.
What is it?
All
Let's
gas,
just
no
do
breaks.
So I talked about a little bit more of a Disney general thing last time with how Disney whitewashes everything. So I'm going to be a little bit more personal in this one, and I want to talk about how the lack of personal space that you receive in Disney parks from guests is just zero. Flatlines, it's gone. There's no personal bubble. And that's one of my triggers for my anxiety is people getting too close to my personal space, especially in a fucking pandemic. So, I would just like to just vent about this for a second and just talk about it. And just see if you guys also feel the same way. I don't know, because I feel like it's a common thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just me and I'm weird.
I already feel the same way.
Yeah, it's just like, so when you're walking, when you're just generally walking, it's like a common courtesy to maybe give somebody some space who is on a mission and they're going to plow you over. Or, maybe they're just walking. What the fuck is the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Loosely, casually.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go. Casually.
Loosely. Use that term from now on, please.
I'm walking loosely.
Yikes.
Maybe they're just walking like nonchalantly, like, down the sidewalk. You would still kind of give a little buffer room, right? You don't want to be throwing elbows. You don't want to be shoulder checking people. That I don't fucking understand why if I'm headed down around the corner on Casey's fucking corner and I want to take a left and I want to go to fucking Adventureland, that there's got to be some bitch with a stroller checking my ankles or somebody in a scooty beeping back in my way. And then they yell, then they yell at me. And then they're like, you need to watch where you're going. I'm sorry, I'm not the one in a fucking motorized vehicle.
You don't have a vessel, a literal vessel that you're in charge of.
Literally.
Technically, your body is your vessel.
Nicole, shut the fuck up.
I know.
No, I'm heated. I'm not taking that.
Oh, I'm not blaming you at all. They have two vessels to take care of.
There we go.
Literally,
Yeah,
I
there we
don't
go.
understand. One time, story time, I had to pee. If you guys know me, if you follow us on anything, you know that my bladder is the size of a soda can.
Half a soda can.
I drive to Disneyland, 30 minutes, gotta pee. I'm about to go on live, gotta pee.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I park my car, gotta pee. I literally always have to pee. Mm-hmm. It's just a thing. It's just what I do. So in line for Pirates, maybe about an hour, 45 minutes. Ride Pirates, it's like an 8-minute ride. Close to an hour that I have had to pee. I am speed walking because you can't run in Disney. You'll get yelled at.
Right.
I am speed sprinting to the bathroom in Adventureland. You know, the one where you can like walk under and go into Frontierland.
Mm-hmm.
There is this old ass woman in her fucking scooty. And as I get behind her, it starts beeping and she just floors it. and almost barrels me down, and then she goes, "You need to watch where you're walking." And I was like, "I'm gonna pee my pants."
You should have just pissed on her.
I would have been like, "You dusty motherfucking bitch."
I literally, but see, I had to pee so
Pushed
bad
her
I didn't even
scooty.
stop.
Yeah, that's fair.
I literally just screamed, "I'm gonna pee my pants," and just kept going. But like, are you the audacity of somebody and I understand that, like, if I'm walking again, because I feel like I'm a polite person, if I'm walking and I see somebody in a scooty who's like coming up hot behind me, I'll get out of your way because you're in a motorized vehicle, and I know that you also aren't going to pay attention to your surroundings because you're in Disney and that's just what people do.
Yep.
So I'm going to get out of your way.
Mm-hmm.
And if I see you coming towards me, I'm going to move to the side. But if you're backing up and if I'm behind you and you just start backing up, that's not on me. That's
Right.
not on me. Don't come at me and say that I need to watch where I'm walking or I need to watch what I'm doing. How about you take a little piece of your own advice, bitch?
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Or the old crone in the mirror.
The old bitch
The
in
old
the mirror.
dusty bitch.
Oh man, I just don't understand. I just don't understand why people think when they get to Disney, land or world, that the surface, the circumference around them just disappears.
Oh god.
And they're the only fucking person in the park, and they don't care who the fuck they ankle check. And that's the other thing is motherfucking moms with strollers. If you're a mom
They're
that
the
goes
worst.
to Disney and if you have a stroller, I'm sorry, get the fuck off my ankles.
Right. Oh no, like the anger inside of me, I'm getting like so angry that I'm getting like a little quiet because motherfucker. Kurt, I don't want to steal your spotlight at all. Are you?
No, I'm done. I just want to say that one time when I was in Disneyland, before they banned the, like the
wagons.
the
Those
giant
fucking wagons,
the
yes.
stroller wagons,
Mhm.
a relatively young mom with 3 kids in one of those wagons hit me in the back of the ankles, made me bleed, and blamed me for it.
Oh, I'm not shocked about that
Right.
at all. I'm
Right.
literally.
See, I can't even walk in front of somebody with a fucking grocery cart because I'm afraid of being ankle checked.
Yeah.
Go on, Nick.
No, you're fine.
Hit your story. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
I just like I can't even channel the emotion that I feel because it's beyond anger. It's beyond disappointment. Me being the one in the parks all the fucking time in this pandemic, it has been
Hopefully not for long.
Oh God, I know, right? I know. I can't wait till Kurt goes back to the parks and can feel my pain. The audacity, Kurt got it, like the audacity of some people. And it's like, I feel like people are worse now in the pandemic that even with social distance markers and stuff, they're trying to like push the boundaries. It's like the people who go into grocery stores that don't wear masks and they're like looking around like, who's going to say something? Who's going to, are you going to do it? Are you going to say something? And it's the same fucking thing with,
Like the people who wear like the mesh masks.
or the people who literally walk in and are like, go ahead, say it, because they want the attention. It's the same thing with social distancing in the parks. It's like people want to see how far they can push it. And I'm going to bring race into it. I swear to God, I literally was just talking about this earlier, how it's like, I feel like race can be played in any situation because our world has been created to be so oppressive and racist. But this is particularly, I'm calling out white people. White people look at me. They see I'm a young, I'm going to say I'm young. They see I'm a young white woman. It's very weird. I have blonde hair right now. I literally had pink hair for like the longest time, but I am very middle class presenting. Like I don't look like I'm scary or intimidating, which I don't know why. And white people look at me and they're like, oh, it's okay if we get in your bubble because you're not going to say anything because we're alike. And the thing that pisses me off the most is like, when I go to the Castle Hub Green and I just want to fucking sit and relax, people who let their kids run around and come up to me and like think it's cute and think just because like I'm a young white woman that I'm going to want to like play with your toddler. This one mom, I think I talked about this on this podcast already, how this like 2-year-old ran up to me and I felt bad because it was a 2-year-old, but it came running at me and I put my hand up and I was like, no, to this 2-year-old. And the mom came over and was like, rolled her eyes at me and was like, really? And I'm like, your little fucking demon is not my problem. Like, I understand you think it's okay to let your kids get in other people's space and like touch other people's shit, but not happening with me, motherfucker. And that is the mentality of people who go to Disney right now. They think it's okay. They think that just because they feel like they're like you or even maybe not, maybe just it's like this privilege of it's okay if my family stands next to you during this parade, even though you've been standing on this green dot by yourself for the last half hour. Like, it's fine. I should be able to have the same access to the parade as you. And it just blows my mind.
It's fine if my kids bump into you 8,000 times in 3 seconds.
You know what this kind of makes me think of? You know that TikTok sound where that's really popular right now, where it's that guy with his dogs and he's like, not friendly, not friendly. And the dog without a leash is running over.
Yep.
I feel like we're the not friendly dogs. And that we just maybe just need to start screaming not friendly when people get too close to us.
I have literally thought about when someone gets in my bubble, when someone touches me, to just do like these short, like, like really loud and fast to like, and then when someone looks at me, be like, you touched me. Like, you're in my 6-foot bubble. You're not supposed to be in my fucking 6-foot bubble, and just acting like a psychopath because Disney World is getting really crowded now. Like, Disney has increased capacity way farther than it should be, and people are not social distancing. They're not respecting your space. And it's like this all around just privilege of this is fine that I do this. It's fine.
You know what I've done once and I'm not sorry about it?
Go for it.
It wasn't in a Disney park, but it was, I'm pretty sure I was in a mall or I was walking and somebody came up right fucking up to me, wasn't wearing a mask. And I was double masked. I have been double masking for the past maybe like 3 or 4 months. And I was double masked. So it wasn't like a hate crime, so don't report me. But I coughed into my elbow.
Good.
And she was like, coronavirus. And I was like, maybe you should be wearing a mask.
Right. Hopefully, yeah. No, that's just how people are. Oh my God, that just unlocked the memory. Do you remember right when Epcot first opened in the pandemic and I went and we filmed it and I did a vlog? And I went on this like 5-minute rant on how this woman's child touched me. And I got upset. And I turned to this family and I was like, hey, your kid just touched me. And there are social distance markers. Like, this was back when the parks were like 20% capacity. And someone literally commented on that YouTube video calling me a Karen because I was upset that someone's child touched me. And for me personally, Kurt, you said like that's a big social anxiety thing for me when it's not the pandemic. I don't like people touching me or being in my bubble. And I feel bad when it's children because it's technically not their fault. It's their parents' fault for not being more attentive to them.
Right. If your dog should be on a leash, so should your kid.
Right. Or just like keep an eye on your kid. If your kid is wandering, I understand it's hard to wait in line with children. I fucking get that. But like, you came to Disney knowing your 5-year-old kid was going to have to wait in lines.
They make those backpack with leashes for a reason.
They do. But they also make iPads for a reason. If your kid is really a kid that can't hold still and needs like constant stimulation, like you as a parent should know that.
Or like without an iPad, get fidget toys.
Get anything. Get your
kids
kid
are
off of me.
obsessed with fidget toys.
Yeah.
Like they just want to move around. Some kids, I know they can't control it. I worked in the public school system. Like I get it.
Same.
But like, yeah, right. Nick and I both worked in the public school system and kids just sometimes can't fucking sit still. But as your job, like it's your job as a parent to deal with that. And especially in a pandemic, like.
Yep. So let me just wrap up this with saying we've talked about it 1,000 times is accountability. Accountability. You need to hold yourself accountable. You need to watch what the fuck you're doing. And if you're in someone's space and they fucking get upset at you, it's not your job to try and defend yourself. Just shut your fucking mouth and move. How hard is it when you see someone visibly uncomfortable, instead of saying something and blaming that person for being too soft or too upset, just fucking move.
Right.
Yeah,
Fuck
how is
you.
it affecting your life that bad that you have to blame your actions on somebody else?
Right. Like, I'm sorry you didn't check behind you to make sure that there was nobody behind you before you started beeping your ass down your fucking scooter.
Yeah, or people with strollers. Like, I understand it could be stressful being at Disney with kids in a stroller, but it's your fault if you run into somebody.
Don't go to Disney with kids in a stroller.
Right. It's your fault. Like,
leave the kids and the stroller at home.
Right. Hold yourself accountable.
Yep.
And that's all I have.
That's my therapy session. Sorry.
Yay. That was a little bit
good.
of... I needed that, too.
No, I'm not sorry. I need to
that.
stop apologizing for my therapy sessions
You
because I
do.
say sorry at the end all the time. I'm not sorry about it.
You're not sorry. Don't be sorry. You're valid. That was a good one because fuck every single person at Disney that doesn't have... Unless you have a disability and you don't have awareness of yourself, that is completely acceptable, and I understand that, and you're okay and valid, and this is not about you.
Right. If you're an old crotchety bitch in a scooty, that's about you.
Exactly.
If you're a mom with 4 little kids in a stroller, it's about you.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our coping session.
Okay, so I'm gonna rail it right back to food. Nick and I have mentioned many, many times that we are the 2 vegetarians of the group, and Kurt is like halfway there.
I'm like a half veggie. If there's a vegetarian option, if there's like a meat substitute, I'll take it.
You and
Good
Peter both.
lead-in.
Yeah, you and Peter both.
Good lead-in. Let's talk about the Epcot festivals, all 4 of them, and the vegetarian options at the booth. There's 5 of them? What's the 5th one?
Holiday, Food and Wine, Flower and Garden, Festival of the Arts. There's another
4.
There's another one in there. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
The
so
Epcot
yes, then there's
festivals.
4. Yes.
4 or 5 of them. Doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter because the vegetarian options are pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, I can count on one hand, like the amount of vegetarian options that they've had in the past. And it's so frustrating. This is not a therapy session. It's just a coping session. But being a vegetarian in the parks, like you get excited. You want to eat something other than a fucking dessert, but those are your only options most of the time.
Yep.
With the occasional vegetarian dish, like I don't know, you can't really alter it at all. They just have it sitting aside separate.
We usually get like, I guess this is about festivals, so I'll keep it to festivals. But in normal times in the parks, like just at regular like quick service, it's like a bland Impossible brat.
Yeah.
Or terrible Impossible burger.
Well, and I used to like pregame with some electric umbrella before the festivals because I knew there wasn't going to be a lot other than like sweets to eat. And like I can't function on sweets alone. I know a lot of us can't function on sweets alone.
I can.
That's why I said a lot of us. We are a lot. Can't function on sweets alone. Kurt can.
I can, except for breakfast. I can't have like sweets for breakfast.
Yeah,
That's
I can't handle.
Sorry.
I'm a big savory person. So like.
I fucking love sweets, but I can only handle like one a day.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't do more than that.
Yeah. And like you're going around the festivals and you want to try different things from different countries. And when it's a cupcake or like something with icing, it just fucking sucks. So I used to pregame with the electric umbrella and eat the cheesy bread with some fries so to get my savory fix in and prep myself for copious amount of desserts. But now that's not an option. And Nick and I were kind of discussing this earlier. Just bring a lot of water with you, bring your own snacks, and hope for the best.
I guess, like, not to jump in on this,
but
no,
jump in. You're good.
I think now, like, I'm kind of a festival expert being a vegetarian, just going so much. And I think I said this before, just like with anxiety about eating in general, like the best thing you can do if you're anxious about your diet preferences, if you're gluten-free, if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, is researching. Because when you research before you go, you can see that there are a lot of items that also can be modified, which I know myself, my anxiety, I do not have the capacity to ask for something without something. So I'm sorry if that's also you. But the other thing is, okay, so Nicole said, find other options like within the park that you can maybe pregame with, make sure you're full. Mine is research. And the last thing is, for me personally, is support these media outlets that are literally 24/7 trying to change Disney culture. Like I think I called out last week, like Vegan Disney World, Vegetarian Disney World, Happiest Vegan on Earth. With you supporting them and letting them do their job and do these things for every festival, for every event, and letting them kind of call out Disney and give these true, honest reviews, I 100% think that the reason this Flower and Garden Festival has so many vegan and vegetarian options is because of them. So it's just like supporting your local business. It's like support your your local influencer. Like, these people are changing the culture of Disney.
Well, also with that, like within the past couple of years or year singular, they opened the Impossible Eats, the Earth Eats.
Eats,
booth, which is all Impossible based. It's
Trowel
all
and Trellis. Yep.
Yeah. So just with those small amount of changes, so like at least being a vegetarian, vegan, you're guaranteed you can stop at that booth and like anything you get from there is plant-based, but like that's relatively new.
Okay, but wouldn't the better solution, instead of being like, okay, we're going to have 20 booths in the entire festival, vegetarians or vegans can have one. Instead, I think a better solution to that would be to add one vegetarian or vegan option to every single booth.
Oh, absolutely.
And have that.
Yes.
Because then, like, what if you want something from the Japan booth or from Mexico
I completely
booth?
agree.
Like, I don't understand.
We were chatting a lot about Mexico last week and how easy it is and like how widely not talked about, but like how widely present it is in like Hispanic culture that their meals are vegetarian based.
Yeah. I'd like literally the layout should be one meat loving dish, like one dish with meat or animal product, one vegan or vegetarian option for savory, and then having a dessert. Like, or even I would be fine with 2 options with meat in it for each booth.
I was thinking like land and sea, like a land option, a sea option, and then a veggie option.
Exactly. And that to me would solve all of these issues. Personally, like, making your entire menu vegetarian friendly is my hope for the future. Because if you think about it, if you're a meat eater, you don't even think about when you eat mac and cheese as a meat eater, just plain mac and cheese, that's a vegetarian dish.
Right.
And you don't have to say, oh, I'm eating vegetarian mac and cheese. No, it's just, there are so many dishes in the world that aren't considered vegetarian. Spaghetti, pizza, those kind of things. It's vegetarian. And as a meat eater, you can adapt and eat vegetarian dishes, but vegetarians can't eat meat dishes. Like, that's the thing. It's
right.
It's just the equity. It's like equity. It's about equity. And just, you think about how many people in the world are vegetarians, how many cultures are staunch vegetarians or religions that are vegetarians. And it's just like, we cater to one community.
It'd be a lot cheaper too.
Yeah.
The festivals, if they didn't
honestly, a lot of the dishes are just vegetarian dishes with meat on top.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is not a therapy session, so I don't want to go any more into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nicole, totally. Like you saying, especially like it's so important, like pregame if you need to.
So pregame research, I cope. I mean, I obviously don't really have this issue because I eat meat. But I mean, if there's a day that I don't want to be eating meat because of my 30-year-old, I'm 29, my 29-year-old gastrointestinal issues, I honestly, I don't have the restriction of anxiety of asking for something without meat. So I'm perfectly fine to customize. So I think that is probably honestly how I would cope, is that if I wanted something and I just wasn't really feeling the meat, I would just ask with it for no meat. Mm-hmm. Or if they had grilled veggies on another dish, I would ask them to throw that on there.
Sure.
And see if that would be an option. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. That's
Great.
Good. That's how I cope. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up our episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all at Foreverland Fairy Tales, and subscribe to us here on whatever you're listening to. Magically Unstable.
Yeah, Magically Unstable, y'all. We're just getting more and more unstable as the weeks go.
Yeah, always a little bit more unstable than the last. All right, like we said in the beginning, I am Kurt.
I'm Nick, y'all.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are Magically Unstable. Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Stay magical, motherfuckers.
Hope for a better week.